See, the thing about Ninjago, it's just a mess. Like, I'm just here for the Oriental ninja stuff. I don't care. I mean, what the fuck was that? What? I don't understand Ninjago.
Tangerine, Tony, I've got you talking about Lego Ninjago again, like you do every day. What
Exactly,
the fuck is a
exactly.
Lego Ninjago?
It's just their ninja series to have like they don't have a franchise they can like use, and so they try and make their own, and Ninjago's theirs. I mean,
So,
don't get me wrong, their modern sets look really cool, and this looks great.
yeah, I think there's a Lego Ninjago game on like the Humble Bundle, right? You can get a bunch of like Lego
Yeah,
games, and the Ninjago one's one of them. I don't know.
Ninjago is pretty big. Like, there's a lot of sets of it. I think people really like Ninjago stuff, so it makes sense.
So, this is Tangerine, Tony. This is Steam Demo Festival. Normally,
Yes.
I say, Tony, I've played 30 games, going insane, playing all these demos, and usually I have
Yeah.
30 games to talk about. I've played over 30 games, and I think like a majority of them, I've decided to just like 10 of them are just not worth talking about because there's just
Okay.
not fun or there's just nothing there that's really interesting. And this is one of
Yeah.
them. So there's going to be kind of a uh, what's the word, like the wheel of the worst, like the loser compilation of just
Yeah.
as I talk about what I liked and disliked about the Steam Demo Festival, like I do most years, say whether I liked it or not. We'll just have a compilation of footage I got from games um,
Okay.
that I just didn't think were worth talking about, but I
Yeah.
played and had
Yeah.
footage of them. So if you see something you're like, that looks interesting, try and find it because I'm not putting links for this shit. Um,
Yeah.
it takes too long for Tony to have to timestamp all of this. So
Yeah.
I guess you could figure out that this is Lego based on the Lego you're seeing on the screen. This is the Lego Brawls game from that's like the Lego Smash Bros game thing.
It looks a
Um,
bit basic, but with cool concepts.
and also, some of the footage you're seeing won't have audio because um, my recording software I use, Malaris Action, it has a tool in it that you just record the selected application's audio, and it's been bugging out recently. So when I launched it, it was just going back to system default. And usually, when I'm recording these videos, I'm in a Discord call. I'm usually streaming the gameplay as I record it to one of my friends.
Yeah.
So I didn't want just random conversation in the background. So some of them will have audio, some won't, and it's just a unlucky for when I didn't notice that my software was bugging out when this happened. I have no fucking idea what's going on in this game, and I'm not going to explain it either. So just let's
It looks
enjoy that.
it looks confusing.
Tony, did you play any demos in the demo festival, or did you skip it?
I downloaded some. I didn't play any though. I
Right.
didn't get around to it. I was busy doing other stuff at the time.
Yeah, I think it's
Kind of
been.
like perfectly lined with lots of things I had to do.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I played. I think I played more shooters than any other demo type this year. Which I like
Okay.
shooters, but I think I played maybe like 15 or 15 plus like shooters, and maybe even just most of them were like boomer shooters, which is insane. We've had this like huge explosion
Yeah.
in like the amount of people who are interested in boomer shooters now.
Yeah.
Whereas before you had a
The,
couple, you had like Dusk and Medieval and stuff like that, but now it's like everyone's got a boomer shooter now. It's crazy.
I
It's really
think
cool to see.
yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like a part of the nostalgic cycle, and it's like obviously like it started small, and then like it's just momentum has built up. I mean,
Oh,
I'm not a big fan of like I don't like I like a lot of the games in the genre, but like I wouldn't say like I'm like a fan of like the genre, if that makes sense. Like I don't like
right.
automatically like assume I'll like a game from the genre.
I just thought I would show the character customization because I thought it was
I
kind of cool.
I
They look
like
like this
this.
way in Lego, but Ultimate as well, whatever.
It's
What did you download?
I can't remember now. uh Because I was just going like through my queue and go, oh, this has a demo. Oh, this has a demo. That's cool.
One thing you
It's
wanted to
like
mention that
try
you
it.
said to me the other day was that you thought that a lot more demos were just leaving their demos up.
Yeah,
Did you say
because
that
I
on the
was going.
podcast?
Yeah, I did say on the podcast, but I'll say it again here since it's the Steam demo, Tangerine. Yeah, I was recently like I think it was like the day after, like 2 days after the event ended. Was like ended like the 7th of July or something, right? I
It
think it was like
ran
a
for a
couple
week,
of days
right?
ago. Yeah. I noticed that normally when I do that, like I go back in and go, oh yeah, this is broken, this is broken, this is broken. I think I only found, for me personally, like one demo that wasn't working out of, I think I downloaded eight,
I'm just
seven
choking
maybe.
on some water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, if you hydrate too much, you die.
yeah. Went down the wrong pipe. I'm good.
You're not a fish.
No, unfortunately, they have gills though. They don't ingest the
Yeah.
water through their
No.
mouth.
No.
Except for
Don't
whales. Don't
don't have
aren't
lungs.
whales like constantly swallowing like tons of water?
Well, whales aren't fish.
What are they then?
They're mammals.
No, they're big fish.
No, they're mammals.
No, I disagree.
I find it's a complete tangerine, but I find it crazy that some of the most successful
Tony,
animals are mammals in the water.
you're on the show Tangerine. I mean,
Yeah, but I
what
feel like
did
we've got a lot to talk about.
what did you think of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the show? I mean, this is the perfect.
Oh,
We haven't
oh my
done
god.
Tangerine on Picard season 2.
Chewie, I have not watched it properly, and I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Like, that's. I don't know if that tells you enough, but I am disappointed.
Which one? Picard or Obi-Wan?
But
Ah, okay.
unfortunately, I've watched Picard. That's
Okay.
the problem. Oh my god, yeah, I'm very disappointed with them. I feel like it was a pointless series, and I feel like they miss.
Anyway,
It doesn't quite work.
getting back on track.
Right,
Uh,
Steam demos.
I thought so. I downloaded a bunch this year. Again, I clicked on the VR page for for the Steam Fest, and then I clicked off it immediately. I was like, "There's just looks like it's garbage on here." I just
Oh
couldn't be
really?
bothered. I literally
Yeah,
couldn't be
and it's
bothered
summer,
this year with
and it's
VR.
summer. Oh,
I think I downloaded
that
like the
sucks.
kayak VR game. I think I
Oh, the
started to download it.
O'Brien simulator.
Oh, Brian, he's always going to the med bay, going on his turning the safeties off on the water rafting simulation on the
Yeah.
holodeck.
That's a great. There's always a Star Trek reference to be had. Like you
There
can't
it is.
avoid Star Trek references.
I saw a Deep Space Nine reference on Twitter today, and I thought it's quite funny. It was like meeting your online friends IRL for the first time, and then it was a picture of like the genetically altered people Bashir was looking after
Oh
in
yeah,
Deep Space Nine, and I was like, that's pretty funny.
yeah. That's pretty accurate.
And someone
That's
was
true.
pointing out how the woman is just perma horny. That's
Yeah, she is.
she must be in horrible pain being that horny, just constantly.
uh,
You know,
well, yeah. I was gonna say like she's like always like looking for like a new suitor. Like she's always like remember when she like really wanted to get Nog? It's like oh yeah, Nog's great.
oh my god. Nog's got one of the best character arcs in DS9 though,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
Goes from
think
a child to being amazing.
it's only a what's it called? It's only a hollow moon.
I can't remember the name, but yeah, I know what you're on about
It's
the
only a
one on the
paper
front
moon.
line. Yeah,
Because it's named after the song
yeah, yeah.
that Vic sings. It's
Nick Fontaine.
Vic Fontaine, the hologram. It's a great song
Yeah,
as well. I've been listening
yeah.
to the um, Ella Fitzgerald version, and the more I listen
Right.
to it, I'm like, this would be the perfect song to put in the Outer Worlds. How have they not made a soundtrack for the Outer
You're
Worlds?
right. I never even thought that. That would actually work with the Outer Worlds
Like
quite well. You're
the
right.
whole thing about the Outer Worlds is like, if you know the lyrics are like it's a paper moon. You're going over a
Yeah.
cardboard sea. Everything's like it's fake
yeah,
and make believe. I'm just like
yeah,
this is so the Outer Worlds, and I'm just like
yeah.
you know. Anyway, Tangerine. VR, there wasn't anything I thought was worth playing. I went on multiplayer. I tried to play a couple of things, but I don't think I could really get anything working on the multiplayer front.
Yeah.
Um, again, was disappointing this year. My big highlights for this year were shooters. I think honestly, my favorite things to play this demo festival were shooters and Passepartout 2. I was not expecting Pass. I was not expecting Passepartout 2 to be so fucking good as it is. I was like, they're gonna walk it in. They didn't walk it in.
See, I would assume like I actually thought they were gonna like make it good. Like I honestly thought they were gonna like just improve it. I didn't assume they would just walk it in.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Um. Oh, I thought this game was going to be the next Windjammers. It's not. It's terrible. Don't play it.
That's like an interesting saying, but I feel like I'm watching these things going, "Oh, why is this not being
The
talked
pro-
about? This is
the
kind of interesting."
the problem is you didn't control them.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Like, I think I'm just I look at the game and go, "Oh, the saying looks interesting," but like, I don't actually know about the gameplay.
But you look at it and you're like, it's Windjammers with guns, and I'm like, yeah, it's just terrible. It's fucking shit.
It looks a bit, even from like where I'm sitting, a bit janky for the positioning and stuff. So,
Oh, this was one I wanted to.
oh, this
Naiad
one,
was one I really
yeah,
wanted to like, but it was like because I
yeah,
saw it at Summer Jeff Fest, and I
yeah.
was like, oh, it's like a relaxing game. You swim around. Maybe there's more to it. No, there's nothing more to it. You just swim around. That's the whole game. I kept waiting for the game to do something, and it never did.
I guess it's just going to be relaxing, looking at the pretty graphics, I
But I mean,
suppose.
I played for 10 minutes, like, and I was like, okay, I get it. I'm
Yeah,
done.
need stuff to do.
Oh, this was like a fucking another shooter, but it was really fucking confusing. It was like trying to take the mechanic of you're inside the game and you have to collect like bits and stuff to solve like computer
Oh,
problems, and it's like
yeah,
it didn't work
strange.
at all. Had like platforming and sort of like shooting in it as well, and I was like, this sucks. Um,
I'm very confused with what the saying is going on there. Like, it doesn't make much. How's that entirely confused with?
got speakers in it. There is a game I will talk about in another Tangerine that's
Okay.
about being inside a computer system that is actually very good. So I look forward to that. I don't know if there's anything else. I've got more terrible games to show you because I feel like if I play through
Well,
them, you have to see them.
yeah. Well, I wanna see them. So this is what, Pirate Simulator? Oh,
This was Space Captain McCrally Episode 3, The Weapon Master. Sorry, The Weapon Master Challenge. The Weapon Master's Challenge. It was so long it was cut off by File Explorer.
I'm a bit confused about. Okay, well,
It's gone. This is the fridge is red.
the fridge is
All you
indeed
need to
red.
know about this game is the fridge is red.
Okay,
It's like one of those creepypasta games that's about a fridge that's red and it's spooky.
what what's spooky about the fridge being
Oh, I
red?
forgot we can have audio for these.
I feel like we're not missing much. Well, can I say now that the wash machine is white? So
No, it's oh well, that's true. That's true.
is that pertinent to any scare? I don't get it. I
It was
don't.
essentially. I think the concept was interesting, and I kind of liked the you look away and then the fridge comes, but I sort of liked the direction it was going. I liked like the atmosphere and stuff. I think it was very well designed, but it reminds me of that golf game. How was it called? There's like a horror golf game.
Oh,
Let me look it up. Gone Golfing. I talked about it on the
yeah.
thing before. You have to spell out his name to defeat him. Defrig.
Dusk.
I don't know if they have gameplay of it, but there's another like chapter thing you can play where you go in an elevator and like the buttons start popping off and then eyeballs start coming out of them. I was like, this is kind of cool. Like I like the atmosphere and like what they were
Yeah,
doing like visually, but the
but not
problem was that
the
there was
game.
just no game.
Yeah. Oh, you've been eaten by a
I've
fridge.
been eaten by a fridge. It's not that scary.
No, I just like, yeah, the idea that you got this thing that you can't look at properly to try and figure out, but like, is a red fridge that scary? Oh, another scary game. Here we go.
But yeah, it was like Gone Golfing where I liked the look of it, but the gameplay just sucked. Here's another game where the gameplay sucks. The paper game. You have to try and cut out stickers,
What?
but the
Yeah.
controls are just fucking awful. Or it's like impossible to actually play it.
Why does the background move with the no?
I really
If
tried
you-
really hard to cut these fucking paper things, but I just couldn't get it, and I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. Just thinking, is there anything else we wanted to say about the summer festival? There's another one in October. I'm going to be playing that again. So just quickly, if you haven't watched one of these before, the advice is download every single demo you're interested in because usually you can play them after the demo festival still. If they remove them from try and remove them, sometimes you can still access the game files by right-clicking on the actual demo on Steam. Even though you can't launch it through Steam, sometimes you're able to still right-click the exe, like click on the exe files in your Windows files and then launch it that way.
Yeah, that tends to work. It's only when they update it and remove the executable is when you can't play it.
Yeah.
I don't get this sticker game at all. I don't understand.
Then let's move on to interesting games to talk about.
Okay.
So this is Rougelite. Because this is quite a small one, so I thought I would pair it with this one. This demo has had both DLSS and ray tracing, which I thought was interesting. Yeah. So the first footage you're seeing is ray tracing on running at 60 FPS, and then I recorded some with ray tracing off at 120 frames per second. That's generally how I prefer to play, is 120, but I thought I would show off the ray tracing.
What the hell's going on? Was she just like...
But this is a game. So this is a good game. This is a game called Perish, and it is a stylish. It's got multiplayer, but I didn't play them. It's 4-player FPS with a cross to bear. Play hordes of creatures on the black sands of purgatory and sell their gold-stained corpses to carve and priestess. You start off with like an axe. You can eventually progress enough to get a gun and go and shoot people. So there's a whole like melee combat and then shooting combat. And the main the main like gameplay of the game is it's like a roguelike. So you go in, you kill a bunch of enemies, you collect coins, then you use them to upgrade your character, and when you die, you have to reset the run.
I like the look of the stuff. It looks cool.
Once you get to a certain point, you can either choose to keep going or you can turn back with what you've collected so far. Because if you die with what you collect, you take like a penalty on it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like a cool system of like risk reward, like how committed you want to be.
Yeah, I like that.
Just like tutorial. Is me using like the default one, and then basically you have to go through different rooms fighting enemies and then getting to different objectives. So some objectives will want you to just go to a location, some will make you defeat a mini boss, and then you go through a portal and then you go to the next area.
It's a good thing these guys can't use their weapons properly, because that guy's using his spear completely wrong.
I didn't know you were such a spear expert, Tony.
Well, it's a stab weapon, not a quarterstaff, so it's a long-range weapon. I don't know much other than that.
The reason I have like such a... It wasn't just like ray trace shadow, this has like ray trace shadows, ray traced ambient occlusion, I think it, or global illuminate.
Global illumination.
It had like 3 ray tracing options. I was like, ray tracing, yes. Turn every ray tracing on. And this
So it's
was
got
the
shadows,
result.
reflection, and like global illumination. Is that what they've got?
I believe so. It was.
Okay.
That's why I'm running at 1440
I
60 for this
mean,
demo.
it's no Call of Duty RTX sounds though. I mean, that's where it's really
Okay,
at.
there it is. But this game's actually pretty fun. I'd say, like, it's pretty
Yeah, that's...
simplistic, at least at first, and then I think it gets a bit
I
more
like
into
how
it.
the enemies aren't ridiculously slow though. They are like rushing you.
It starts like spawning more in as it goes,
Hmm.
and it becomes like so. This is like melee thing here, so I'm going to switch to 120 footage because this is. I think I used the gun in this one, which I was like, it's more of a shooter when you use the gun.
Right.
Um,
I like the axe though.
so here I'm using the gun. So this is with the ray tracing turned off, but this is running at a higher FPS because generally I like to play like higher FPS when I'm playing like tactical, very quick games like FPSs and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I went in with like zero expectations for this game, and I ended up thinking it was like really, really fun.
Yeah, I find it a very interesting concept. And I quite like how. I mean, it's a good use of RTX.
Yeah, I think I added an ability to my pistol, so it like made them explode on headshots.
Right. I think I prefer the axe personally, but
Well, I quite like the gun, especially when you get to the later levels.
right.
Just skip ahead.
Is that rivers of gold or is that just lava?
I don't know. I thought it was
I think
lava.
that's. I don't know.
Can
I
you
can't
see?
tell.
Can you tell the difference between the ray tracing on and off? That would be an interesting question. Obviously,
Um.
it's like video compression plus Discord
Yeah.
compression plus you know.
Also, like if they've put a lot of effort into baked lighting, it's like quite tricky as well.
Hmm.
Like I still feel like we're not at the point where it's like obviously like I feel like the goal like the pardon the pun considering the game we're talking about, but like, the thing that we're aiming for, like the golden thing we want is like RTX to be like somewhat simple to run on a graphics card, and then also making it easier to develop and like having to think about baking lighting in games a
Uh,
lot less.
Safe to say, I didn't know much about this game, but ended up really enjoying it. I think it's fun. Not like my favorite one of the ones I played, but still something that is
Yeah,
pretty fun to play.
it looks
Uh,
interesting.
Next up, we have our friends Devolver. We have Cult of the Lamb. This is an interesting
Oh
one.
yes, I saw this one.
So this is a mixture of like a colony sim. Would you say? How do you describe? You run a cult like base building management, and
Yeah,
then you go into a dungeon and it turns into like a like Binding of Isaac style roguelike game.
is it kind of hack and slashy or is it more
I think
just
it's like hack and
melee
slashy, yeah.
focused? Okay.
Oh, like melee focused, yeah, whatever you want to say.
I think it's hack. I'll say that hack and slash. Like if you like, if it's
But this is one of the games Devolver showed off, so I was pretty interested to give it a try because they usually publish weird shit, and
yeah,
running a satanic cult as a lamb is a pretty interesting idea for a game. So this is just the
I think
tutorial.
I think it's one of the games where some obviously like the concept's weird and things, but like I feel like I was more impressed once I saw the demo than I was with the concept by itself.
Yeah, I thought
Like this demo really sold it for me.
one of the things that really impressed me was the art style. I think like
Yeah,
the mix between like the 2D and the 3D stuff
I
is
wasn't
actually really
expecting it
cool.
to be so good
Hmm.
from like the trailers.
I think I preferred the art to the gameplay though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is cool art though. I mean, the gameplay like it looked
That's okay. I
simplistic.
mean, I used a controller, I think, so it wasn't too bad. But I think some people complained about the mouse and keyboard combat.
Yeah,
Um,
I could see that.
and I guess like the idea of going back and um, building up your like town is sort of like Darkest Dungeon in a sort of way. I don't know. I never played that game, but
Yeah,
isn't
like you're
the
building up.
is,
Yeah, like you
is
you,
it
you
similar
build
to
up.
that game in that sense?
I, I think so. I'm not playing like a lot of the Darkest Dungeon, and I can't
Yeah.
remember anymore. But yeah, I feel like there's like you like build up and like then dictate what you can do once you got back. Like it's definitely like that's like definitely like a secondary system to the main game
The
though.
thing is, like, because I played through this once, and it's a roguelike, so you die, you have to start again. But the thing
Yeah.
with the demo was there was no way to skip the tutorial thing again. You had to play the entire thing again. So I just played it through once because I was like, I'm not gonna play the entire tutorial thing again. It's pretty slow.
Hmm.
So I was kind of disappointed I didn't get to do another couple of runs to really get a feel for it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I think this was really fun. So I'd recommend checking this one out. Another good game from Devolver, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, the art style is fantastic.
And then finally, from the roguelike section, we have Lone Ruin. Um, I didn't go into this one with too much expectations either, but I just saw the art style looked pretty interesting to me because it
Yeah.
was like this weird, like 3D blocky pixel art, I would say, and I think it was really fun. In the I believe it's going to be like a more standard road lights where there's like a progression and a story. But for the
Right.
demo, there was just a wave survival. Is how it worked in the demo.
Okay.
But I really liked the way the game worked. Is every time you leveled up, you just like chose a new ability, and you just changed your abilities on the fly, and then you could change how your abilities worked very easily. And it felt like playing this multiple times, you would have a completely different experience every time you loaded it up.
Yeah. And you're like, it's not punishing you for experimenting, I suppose.
Yeah, like I like games where you can do a lot of experimenting and try out different
Yeah.
builds. Like a couple of games that I played recently remind me of this. Is stuff like Wizard of Legends really good for this. Another roguelite with like spells in it.
Yeah.
Minecraft Dungeons is pretty good for this.
Yeah.
That game just lets you pick up any item and then immediately just use it, which is really cool. Um, yeah, I thought this one was pretty interesting, and this one is definitely worth checking out if you're into that sort of thing. I'm sort of so it's like an action road like twin stick shooter wave based thing. I think I'm getting like a little bit done with the roguelite thing. Like I've
Yeah.
played a lot of roguelites, so like
Yeah.
to put so much time into a game and then just keep losing your progress. I would rather put more time into like a single player story based thing where I can you know
Or if like if the roguelite had an interesting mechanic that was different from other roguelites, like I feel like there's not much innovation in terms of the mechanics at like the roguelitiness anymore.
Yeah. So that was the Steam Demo Festival as a whole, which I didn't think was that great this year. They hadn't really improved anything. I think from last year it was kind of cookie cutter again. They did not, vet any of the multiplayer games to say, "Hey, this one's actually multiplayer demo, and this one's a fake multiplayer
Well,
demo."
I don't think that anything ever, but
They didn't vet any of the fucking VR games because they all look like someone's tech demo made in 2 seconds.
right.
But other than that, I think the positives from this demo festival so far will be the shooters, and I will talk more about the shooters when we get to that because I think that is where I'm saying this was really, really good this year. So make sure to check out our next Tangerine on the Steam Demo Festival. It'll be cut up into the different genres of game categories just to try and split up like all of these games that I've been playing, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.